Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah Edens. I'm a financial consultant and I'm here to help you level up your money and your business. I share practical financial tips, wealth mindset tips, as well as practical tips for other entrepreneurs as I share what I'm learning in my entrepreneurial journey. So if that sounds interesting to you, then please go ahead and click that subscribe button for me and let's get started. So today we're talking about 10 key things to know about financial independence. If you want a quick video about kind of my definition of financial independence and what we're talking about when I use that word, I'll link to that in the description below. But today we're talking about 10 key things to know about financial independence, things that will help you accelerate your journey to financial independence if that's your goal. I know many of you here on this channel are really interested in that, as am I. And so let's dive right into this. So the very first thing to know about financial independence is that it's more than just about money. So financial independence isn't just about accumulating wealth, although that's part of it. It's about gaining the freedom to make choices without being bound by financial constraints. So it allows you to focus on the things you value most in life, whether that's time with your family, taking care of yourself, pursuing personal interests and hobbies, perhaps an early retirement. You hear a lot of people talk about FIRE or financial independent retire early, which is a really popular movement as well in finance circles and among finance enthusiasts. But really, it comes down to what do you want most out of your life? And many of us end up for many decades of our lives kind of grinding away at jobs that we really don't enjoy, don't bring us fulfillment, and don't leave us the time to perhaps take care of ourselves the way we want to, take care of our health the way we want to, spend time with our loved ones the way we would like to, and pursue the other things. And so it's really a beautiful thing about the financial independence movement is taking ownership of your financial situation, because this is very much in reach for each and every one of us. It's just about taking ownership of your mindset towards your money, your mindset towards your life, and the things you choose to prioritize. So first and foremost, not about money. The second key to financial independence is to focus on passive income. So this is something I'm really passionate about. You hear me talk about this all the time on my channel. We're going to be talking about it a lot more this year because I am so interested in this, and I have several passive income streams that I've set up myself this year that I'll be talking about and sharing with you how that's going as well. But passive income really is the cornerstone of financial independence. This includes income from your investments, if you invest, from real estate, from dividends, which are obviously also from your investments, and other sources that generate income with little ongoing effort on your part. So it might take an initial investment of cash, or it might take initially setting up a business, or it might take, doing some work. Obviously, you're not going to have anything in your life that's truly completely 100% passive income unless someone writes you a check and sends it to you in the mail as a gift, or you win the lottery or something like this. But otherwise, there's going to be some work and some investment on your part, but things that don't involve 9 to 5, Monday through Friday is what we're talking about here. I kind of call this passive-ish income. If you've got a better name for this, let me know in the comments. I'd be curious to know what you like to call it, if you have something else you like better. The goal, though, is for your passive income to cover your living expenses and then exceed your living expenses as well, so that you've got more than enough to live on. The third key to financial independence is to control your spending. So again, this is something we all have absolute control over for the most part, unless you have a big runaway expense like, say, healthcare bills, which just are a real problem here in the United States, unfortunately. They're a leading cause of bankruptcy. But outside of that, for many of the other expenses that we can control and we can choose how much or little we're going to spend on them, this is really key. So it's not just about earning more when it comes to financial independence. It's also about managing what you spend. I have a whole playlist on budgeting that you've probably heard me talk about before. I'll link to that in the description. Living below your means is a big part of this, as well as controlling lifestyle inflation. So as you make more money, don't just go and spend all that extra money. Super easy to do. Most of us fall into it just kind of mindlessly without thinking about it. But this is really, really key. So living below your means and then controlling lifestyle inflation are really crucial strategies in building wealth and working towards financial independence. The fourth key to think about when it comes to financial independence is the power of compounding. So, this is something that the earlier you start saving and getting interest off your savings, and particularly the earlier you start investing and taking advantage of what's called compound interest over time, the more you can benefit from those compounding returns that add up over time. Consistently reinvesting your gains, which would be dividend reinvestment, can dramatically increase your wealth over time. Now, this is something that when I talk about investing, I am a very risk averse person. I do not like risk. And so for me, getting into investing was really scary. So what I have found though is that I've found a way and strategies that allow me to invest in a way that preserves my peace of mind and lets me take advantage of compound interest without worrying about losing everything in a crash. So I'm a very conservative investor. If you talk about investment strategies, some people will be very what they call like aggressive investors, and they're going for big gains and they're all in. Other people are very moderate or conservative investors. I definitely fall much more on that side of things. And so it's really down to you about what your comfort level is with this. Now, as always, when I talk about investing, I really recommend that you speak with a qualified, experienced investment advisor before you get started with investments if you've never tried this before, because you can lose all the money you put into the stock market as well as gain money. So it's really important to be well informed and guided by a good investment advisor as well. But investments are a huge cornerstone of building financial independence because it lets you take advantage of getting that interest growing over time and having your money work for you instead of just sitting there in a savings account, perhaps, maybe not making very much interest and then getting kind of gobbled up by inflation instead of getting the interest and being able to stay ahead of inflation rates, especially lately. Well, right now, inflation isn't too bad, but over the last couple of years, we were all really feeling it if you were primarily a saver in the bank. The fifth key to financial independence to think about is debt is a barrier. Now, you'd never know it because it's so easy to get debt these days and get into debt. Everybody's offering absolutely everything on credit, and they're all happy to have you sign on the dotted line and take out loans for everything from your house to your car to, absolutely anything else you can think about. However, high interest debt, which I'm not a fan of, can erode your path to financial independence. If you have student loans you're paying on, fine. Those tend to be fairly low interest. You just work on paying those off. Same thing with the mortgage. But any high interest debt, and particularly having a lifestyle where your lifestyle is fueled with debt, funded by debt, instead of living off of what you're making, can really hurt you when it comes to wanting to get towards financial independence. So prioritizing paying off your debt, and then especially consumer debt like credit cards and not carrying huge balances on your credit cards can accelerate your journey towards financial freedom a lot faster because you don't want to be sitting. I feel like being in high interest debt is the opposite of being an investor. So when it comes to high interest debt, you're there paying your credit card company, let's say 22, 23% annual percentage rate on your credit card. So really high percentage rate on your credit card debt, and you're paying them a lot in interest and fees, and they're making money off of you. When you're an investor, you're making money off the companies that you're invested in because they're paying you dividends from their profits. So it's like you can either be in debt and let someone else profit, or you can be out of debt as much as possible, be an investor and profit off of all the companies that you are invested in, the real estate you're invested in, and so forth. So that's kind of a mindset shift that honestly, the first time I really started going through that and being like, wow, I really want to make that move away from being a consumer to an investor. I think the first book that really ever introduced me to that concept was Happy Money by Ken Honda. Yes, it was Happy Money by Ken Honda. It's on my bookshelf back there somewhere. I'll link to it in the description as well. But Happy Money is such a great book. So if you are struggling with your relationship with money, but you really want to work towards financial independence, honestly, one of my favorite books for you to pick up and start with, just to kind of dip your toes in the water a little bit with finance, is Happy Money. So definitely check that out. And he has a great perspective on investing, saving, all of these different things, and just kind of how to kind of holistically think about money. The sixth key to financial independence is that emergency funds are essential. How often have you probably heard me say this? You're like, yeah, you've said that already. Thanks. I have my emergency fund, like fast forward. But it's so important. And here's why, because having a well-funded emergency fund can protect you from unexpected financial setbacks. And then that allows you to continue your path to financial independence without derailing your progress. So, how many times have you been in that situation where you've got everything fine in your finances and then you get a big bill? Lately, for example, I've been getting enormous veterinary bills because I have 4 darling geriatric adopted rescue pets. And they are super, super sweet, but they're all getting really old because I adopted them all at the same time back when I was doing a lot of volunteer with humane societies. And oh my goodness gracious. Now, I'm not complaining because I'm really grateful to have healthcare for them. And we have the most loving, wonderful veterinary team on the planet. So shout out to any of you if you're watching this. I know some of you watch my channel. But they are at that point where they have to, just like elderly people, where they have to be in at the doctor's a lot. And because I don't have pet insurance for them because I didn't buy it when they were younger, which definitely make sure you do, by the way, pick up pet insurance while your pets are like little puppies so that you can get coverage later. But every time I walk in the vet's office now, I am like, if it's under $900, I'm like, whew, thank goodness. Or if it's under $500, I'm like doing a happy dance here. So that's one of those things where, you have a pet get sick, and if you've got pets and you've ever had to take them to the pet emergency room at the weekend or something, I mean, overnight, you just like click your fingers and it's like $5,000, right? So your situation is going to be different. Maybe you don't have pets, but maybe you've got cars that are constantly breaking down, or you've got a house that constantly needs repairs, or, you're having medical bills that you're grappling with. Whatever your situation is, yours is going to be different from mine. But having those emergency funds on tap is really, really key. And this is separate from your retirement funds, by the way. So you don't want to be digging into your retirement savings to cover emergency bills. Now, I know this is much easier said than done today with inflation and everything like this, but just do your best. Start little by little adding into an emergency savings account. I like to personally use high yield savings accounts so that I'm getting a little bit better interest rate on mine. Now that the federal funds rate has come down a little bit, my interest on my high yield savings accounts has unfortunately also come down. So over at Morgan Stanley, they were offering 4.5% interest APY, and now they are offering 4.25%, but still much better than nothing. So you want to keep your money somewhat liquid. You don't have to put it on the stock market or anything. You want to have it where you can get it if you need it, but high yield savings accounts are a nice place to set up an emergency fund. I've got a video about the top high yield savings accounts for 2024 I'll link to in the description. The seventh key thing to know about financial independence is that it really does require a plan. If you can't tell by now, this is one of those things that does not happen by itself. It is a lot of mindfulness, planning, strategizing, and being somewhat goal-oriented. So if you're into all of that, this is going to be much easier for you. So achieving financial independence typically involves setting clear financial goals, creating a budget, which I've got my budget playlist, which I'll link to in the description, and consistently saving and investing. It's a long-term strategy that benefits from careful planning and discipline. Now, this is where you can rope in financial planners, financial advisors, retirement advisors, investment advisors, and kind of put your team together, your dream team of people to help you come up with like a tailored strategy for you. And so that's where you don't have to go it alone. There's lots of people you can hire that will sit down with you and help you walk step by step through what's going to be the thing that's going to work best for you. The eighth key thing to know about financial independence is that multiple income streams reduce your risk overall. So I'm also a huge fan of having multiple income streams. I've just finished setting up my, my fourth income stream this summer, and I'll talk about that in another video with my new Etsy shop. But really, really good to not have all your money coming in from your day job or from your spouse's day job. So diversifying your sources of income, and this can be a lot of different things. It can be through investments, it can be through your businesses and side gigs, real estate holdings, real estate investments, sky's the limit. can reduce your financial risk and help ensure stability on your path to financial independence. So really, really key to think about how many different income streams can you set up for your family. So maybe it's your job, your spouse's job, maybe you've got side gigs, maybe you've got a rental property that you rent out, you've got your investments and so forth. Just get creative and try to get as money coming in from as many different things as possible, so you're not just dependent on one or two. That can really become stressful quickly if you or your spouse lose your job. The ninth key thing to know about with financial independence is that investing is key. We talked about this a little bit already. Building wealth through investing in stocks, bonds, real estate, or other asset classes is one of the most effective ways to achieve financial independence. Understanding risk and reward is essential for long-term success. And again, this is where you want to consult with a good financial investment advisor and speak with them about how to put together a good portfolio for your situation and where you are in your life. And then the 10th thing to know about with financial independence, and the 10th key, is that your mindset really matters. Now, were we going to have a video without talking about mindset? I don't think so. So achieving financial independence requires discipline, patience, and a long-term mindset. So you're thinking about your future self, you're thinking decades down the road for yourself with all of this. Staying committed to your financial goals, even during market downturns or economic uncertainty, is key to reaching independence. So really having that mindset, becoming resilient, working on your wealth mindset. I have a whole playlist about wealth mindset. I'll link to that in the description for you to catch up on later. But those 10 keys, those 10 principles will help you create a sustainable path towards financial independence. So let's just recap those again really quickly. So it's more than just about money. Focus on passive income. Control your spending. The power of compounding, get that to work for you. Debt is a barrier. Emergency funds are essential. Financial independence requires a plan. Multiple income streams reduce risk. Investing is key. And mindset matters. So those are 10 key things to just start thinking about as you work your way towards a plan for financial independence. Let me know in the comments what other things you were thinking about as you were watching this video, ideas that came to you, and other things you'd like to share with our community about achieving financial independence. Thank you so much again for watching and for joining me. A shout out to all my wonderful subscribers. Thank you all for being part of our community. If you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button now so you don't miss another video, and I will see you again soon.